Congressman Marc Veasey of Fort Worth, thank you so much.
Good to be with you today.
Nice to be with you and nice to see you in person. So what is your reaction to the fact that Vice President and now officially Democratic presidential nominee Kamala Harris has selected Minnesota Governor Tim Walz as her VP?
I am very excited about Tim being selected as VP. I know him very well. We're good friends. As a matter of fact, I was supposed to be in Minnesota this fall at his governor's pheasant shoot. But obviously he's probably not going to be able to do that now. He's going to be barnstorming around the country. But he's a great guy, great background, and I think he's going to add a lot to this ticket. And I think it was a great, smart choice by Vice President Kamala Harris to choose Tim as her.
Why? And because a lot of people thought this, the pick should be coming from a battleground state, such as Pennsylvania, such as Arizona. You had Senator Mark Kelly, you had Governor Josh Shapiro. Why do you think this was a smart choice?
I think that this is a good pick because Tim Walz represents the center of the country. And he also has an everyday person background. A lot of people don't realize that, Tim was a football coach. He was a command sergeant major in the Army. He is just someone that has had a good all-around experience that I think that everyday people in middle America can identify with. And that's where we're going to need to pick up those winning electoral votes. We're going to need to win in Michigan. We're going to need to win in Pennsylvania. We're going to need to win in Wisconsin and some other states that are in the middle of the country. And Tim brings that to the ticket.
And how would you describe him politically?
Oh, I would say that Tim is what I would call very pragmatic in his approach to everything. Whether it is the environment, again, I mentioned that he's someone that I share outdoorsman activities with. He's just a great all-around guy. Again, environmentalist, outdoorsman, practical on issues around taxes, and has a big heart and wants to help people. And so I think that he's someone that different parts of the party, whether you're progressive or whether you're more moderate, I think that people will be able to rally around him and really see him as someone that can galvanize us and add an extra layer of excitement. Of course, Vice President Harris has already added so much excitement, but Tim really, I think, is the icing on the cake.
And what do you think their strongest points of their campaign are? Their mantra, their talking points, etc., to prosecute this campaign?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, again, when you talk about Kamala Harris, her background as a prosecutor, Tim Walz, football coach, former veteran, I think what they bring to the ticket that I think that the American public is going to identify with is that people want to maintain normalcy. Joe Biden has brought in 4 years of normalcy, and people want to keep that. And so as the campaign goes on and Trump is, weird, as Governor Walz sort of coined along the campaign, I think that people are going to continue to move away from that and be repelled by that, like what happened at NABJ, for instance, the remarks on race. I think that people are going to continue to be repelled by that. I think Trump's going to double down on it. And I think that people will see Harris and Walz as someone that is keeping normalcy going, because we don't want to go back to that sort of insane era that Trump brought to American politics.
Inflation and border security are really the two top issues that we've seen in poll after poll, and they give Republicans higher marks than the Democrats on both of those. So how do Democrats answer for the record inflation we saw in 2022 and the border, which saw record numbers of people entering the U.S. illegally?
We're starting to see inflation numbers come down in many areas, and so I think that Democrats have a story to tell there. I also think on the border that we have an incredible story to tell. We actually, we're going to pass the toughest bill that even conservative news networks said was the toughest immigration bill to ever come out of D.C. And Trump told the speaker, who's a Republican also, to kill the bill because it would help President Biden. I think that sort of thing the American public is sick of, because we could have had a very good immigration bill that would have passed and would have drastically reduced numbers. And the Republicans blocked it because they thought that it was going to hurt them politically during an election year. And to me, that's just no good. And I think that the American public is going to reject that. I think that we have a story to tell on immigration, and I think that Harris and Walz are going to be able to tell that story well as Democratic surrogates that are going to be going around the country.
And Republicans have really sharply criticized the vice president for being the border czar, or somebody who was put in charge by the president as far as root causes, what causes all these people to come up into the United States. And she's still facing very tough criticism on that. Is that going to hurt her?
I don't think this is going to hurt her. First of all, we have no border czar, and secondly, they had a chance to rally behind this bill. Again, conservative news network said that this was the toughest immigration bill to ever come through D.C., and they said no, and they just started making up lies about the bill in order to torpedo it and have a good excuse, because they know the American public doesn't like those sort of silly games in politics. And so I don't think that that's going to hurt her at all. I think that once people have a chance to see her record on immigration and see the proposals that were put before the American public, and people are really going to come in full focus on that, my guess is sometime after Labor Day, after the convention's over with, and after people really start paying close attention to what's going on, and they're going to hear the story about how the Republicans muffed this up because they did not want it to hurt them in the November elections, and that's just wrong to kill an immigration bill for that reason.
Congressman Marc Veasey of Fort Worth, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.